Hey, where are you planning to go?
Um, I don't know where I'm planning to go, but I'll figure that out later.
You might want to think about your destination before you pack. Having the end goal in mind will help you make better decisions about what you will need on the trip. Just like in backward design framework, you know your end goal before you make any other decisions related to course design.
What is backward design framework anyway?
Let me explain. Backward design is a useful framework to build a college course. This framework consists of three parts: objectives, assessments, and learning activities. These three elements work together to help create a course that can have a legacy long after the semester is over. But what makes it backward? Where you start is what makes it backward. The common approach when designing a college course is to start with the stuff. You grab a textbook, and if you're lucky, it's broken into 16 chapters, and you can cover a chapter a week for the semester and you're done. Instant course. That's a very common approach. But I would argue that it's problematic for two reasons. Reason number one: you, the instructor, you're the expert in your content, not the textbook publisher. You know your discipline, your department, your university, and your learners better than the publishers. Only the instructor can see the ultimate value in the course and can create something meaningful with their learners. Reason number two: when you start with content, you're looking at the things of the course and not the destination. It's like preparing to go on vacation by first packing your suitcase. I've got sunscreen and a book to read and a sweater in case it's cold and an extra pair of socks. I mean, I don't know where I'm going yet, but my suitcase is packed. That's what makes backward design backward. You don't start with the suitcase, you start with the destination. The first step in backward design is creating objectives. It's imagining a time when the course is over and then asking, what is it that I hope students will have learned that will still be there and have value 2 years after the course is over? What do you want your learners to still know and be able to do even after they are long gone? That must be the vision for your course. When you dream beyond the 16 weeks of your course semester, think bigger than your content, and how you answer that question forms the basis of your learning goals or the objectives. When you have your objectives, you move on to the second step, which is creating your assessments. Begin by asking yourself, what would my learners have to do to convince me that they have achieved those objectives? The process of working out the answers to that question clarifies the real meaning of the learning objectives as you create the assessments. The projects that you ask them to engage in actually look like the discipline outside the classroom. Then you move on to the third step, which is crafting learning activities. Here's where you ask yourself, what would the learners need to do during the course to be able to do well on these assessments? You know where you're going, you know what it would look like for your learners to get there, and now you're planning out how to prepare your learners for that journey. This could be reading from a textbook, video lectures, conducting experiments, guest presenters, or anything that lets your learners master what they need to master. Starting with the textbook is very common practice when designing a course, but the tension is that you're starting from the stuff as opposed to the vision. Starting with the content is not wrong, but it limits what you want your students to learn. Backward design asks the question, what is it that students will have learned that will still be there and have value 2 years after the course is over? This gives you a framework to build towards that vision, creating a learning experience that has a legacy long after the end of the semester.
Oh man, I decided to go to Florida, but now I need to repack. I wish I knew about the backward design framework before I started to pack. Anyways, it's better late than never. Here I come, Florida.